as long as everyone's clear and there's no bad blood or it's, no controversy around why, and you've gone about it the right way, which of course they would, then I don't really have an issue with that.
What did Kareena think of your paunch?
Well, she's almost seen it happening in real life also. So, somebody had written a script for me where I had to say in the part of the act of going on KBC, we are the original Bunty Bubbly. So Mr. Bachchan looked at me and said, original Bunty Bubbly. Maine pehchana. Dashrath Singh. And he said a couple of lines and I thought, how did I walk into that one? It's a blessing having the children and having the family together, because we had a really intimate and lovely time. And it was a tough time, but we managed because of the positive energy of the kids, honestly. So it was great.
Welcome to Pink Villa, Saif. Firstly, what I wanted to ask you is, when it comes to sequels and remakes and reboots, there's always a lot of chatter even before it's shot. So when Bunty and Bubbly 2 was was offered to you, was it an immediate decision to say yes, or did you have any apprehensions of joining a franchisee?
I got a call from Aditya Chopra saying that would I have any qualms stepping in to play a role that another actor has played, because he's a very correct person. And he said for some reason, they were not able to take their conversation forward. And do I have issues with it? And I said, well, I think I built Hum Tum came to me like that as well. And that happens. As long as everyone's clear and there's no bad blood or it's, no controversy around why, and you've gone about it the right way, which of course they would, then I don't really have an issue with that. I still went back and forth saying yes and no a few times, but that was based on something else and dates and things like this, but that's not for this. But it's a role that I thought it's very different to the original. It's kind of set in the much later in the future as an entirely different person.
And, when we speak about You and Rani, I think the first film that comes to our mind, like you said, is Hum Tum, because that's such, it's a romantic comedy that, is spread across generations. It has so many fans even now. And with Bunty and Bubbly 2, do you ever think a Hum Tum 2 would work, or do you think it's too good of an original to ever be rebooted?
Why not? I think anything can be done. If you like the character, you can do it. You can start with them at 50 and flash back to them being younger, whatever. You can do all kinds of things. People are looking for ideas all the time.
Yeah.
And you have to make sure it's a genuine idea and not just like a chalu idea. You have to make sure it's a good idea.
Yeah. And, even when you see the trailer for the first time, there's the obvious physical transformation of Bunty, from the paunch to the dressed suits. And the director had said that one of the things that he admires the most about you is how you don't really care much about vanity when you're shooting. So what was more fun for you to shoot? Was it with the paunch, or was it when you were all suited up?
The paunch. Yeah, it's a good question. I try to avoid being vain.
Which is a pretty big thing for an actor to do.
Yeah, it's an easy thing to become, because there's a camera on you, and everyone's going to look at you. So it's very easy to be vain. But I find it's a rookie kind of error. It's like a mistake for newcomers to become vain, because it's about becoming somebody else, and losing all that. So whatever. I enjoyed the paunch and the loserish qualities of Rakesh more than the glamorous parts.
What did Kareena think of your paunch?
Well, she's almost seen it happening in real life also. So, she never says anything about my looks. If I'm once. When we started dating, I think she said something about looking tired. But otherwise, even if I look bad, she never ever says it. But if I look good, she said.
That's sweet as well.
Yeah.
And recently, I think one of the things that you had said, which had gone viral, was how Taimur wanted to be a bad guy after seeing Tanaji. And in Bunty or Bubbly, you're again playing a con man. So what do you think his reaction is going to be this time around?
I don't know. If I know him, he's going to say, I don't want to be a guy with a paunch. He's a little vain. No, I don't know. I'm joking.
Yeah.
But he understands that, I think, quite early, because I do a mix of roles, luckily. I'm not just a villain or a hero. So he says, oh, are you good in this movie? Do you kill people in this movie? Do you con people? What do you do in this movie? So I'm like, oh, this is a cute role. He's a good guy. Doesn't kill anyone. He's a bit of a con. What's a con? It's a thief. Ah, okay. So, I mean, he's constantly hearing something or the other from what I'm doing, whether it's an Ravan or whether it's... So I think he's understood that it's all drama.
Okay. And, again, we were talking about you and Rani, it's such a a very fresh pair even today. And what I wanted to ask you is, 17 years back and now, what was your first impression of Rani back then? And what is your impression of her now in terms of professionally speaking?
Well, professionally speaking, I remember, I think Hum Tum was the first time I'd worked with her. And I'd seen her on screen and I thought she had a lovely voice and a very different look. Yeah. But after Kajal, there was this really natural actor. And when I worked with her, it was like competitive and interesting because, I could really, we would go at these scenes the best we could. And kind of, it was interesting because Aditya Chopra said we had great chemistry because we're very different people, and like she would ground me, he said, in a way, and this kind of thing. So I remember there was a fly that flew into the scene and I saw it buzzing around her head and I thought, I tried to swat at it, but I didn't cut the shot, but she didn't cut the shot also. Many people would have cut the shot. And I realized that we can really improvise also. Things can happen when we work together. So we were good working together like that. And in this movie, I was conscious that a lot of people say when you publicize films that, oh, you're a wonderful pair and you did this film 100 years ago and it was great. Yeah. But we've got to move with the times. And I was like, okay, we better be good now. And the thing about her, she's, a really natural actress. So it's timeless. It doesn't matter. She's just playing a part. And also movies have nicely changed. So we're not trying to be Hum Tum again, We're playing this over-the-hill couple that get a chance to kind of become young again. So in that sense, I think it's well cast. And like I said, the only thing it's quite a professional relationship. I mean, this time we spoke a little more about family and we've spoken about Kareena in the past and things like that. But it's always been quite a professional equation where we're both just trying to do a great scene and go home. So no changes really there.
And, you guys recently shot for KBC and it was with Amitabh Bachchan, who was, a very important part of the first one. So how was that experience like? Did he share stories? How was that experience?
Somebody had written a script for me where I had to say in the part of the act of going on KBC, we're the original Bunty Bubbly. So Mr. Bachchan looked at me and said, original Bunty Bubbly. Maine pehchana. Dashrath Singh, and he said a couple of lines and I thought, how did I walk into that one? But he's too good. He's just a legend. Like the way he speaks Hindi, I've just never heard anybody speak like that. I was looking at him and I said, I'm learning from you something. And I just want to say that you're the best I've seen. I mean, I've been on other people's game shows. There's just nothing like this person at his senior age. He's better than all these young guys. And it's just amazing. Unbelievable. I'm a fan.
KBC actually feels like a Hindi lesson every time you watch it. You learn such
He's so good in the way he interacts with the audience and he interacts with... So he said that I'm Bengali, something. His wife is, of Jayaji's Bengali. Yeah. Then he's told Rani, you are Bengali. And I impatiently, I said, Arey, even me. And he said, Arey, bhai, I'm coming to you. But the control with which he says it is too good. Like you don't have to dance to be entertaining,
Yeah, that's true. And, this is strictly hypothetically speaking. If you could scam any celebrity for something that they possess, who and what would it be? Very strictly hypothetically speaking.
But I mean, you'd only scam someone for money. Now, what else you scam them for? Not their hairstyle or their clothes or their car. I mean, you'll have to scam them for money. So presumably it would be Akshay Kumar. If we scam Akshay Kumar for but because he's so incredibly wealthy.
That is true. Also, in a few years, you're completing 3 decades in the industry. And I think one thing that fans love about you is how all of your characters are so drastically different from each other. And what would you say, what can fans expect from you because I feel like you have had such a roller coaster journey, right? Like a lot of hits and a few misses. So what can we expect from Saif Ali Khan? I feel like you have a new era all the time.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I've got some good films lined up. I'm looking forward to Vikram Vedha very much, which I'm prepping for right now. And, Adipurush is in the cans, which is insane. And there's a film called Fire with Rahul Dholakia. And there's something else. There's something with Siddharth Anand's company. So there's lots of stuff. But right now it's Vikram Vedha. And it's a good time because there's great roles being offered and people are making films in a better and better way. And I'm really happy that I'm in the industry at this time doing this stuff. So I think instinctively I like doing interesting things.
Yeah.
So people can look forward to that.
I think, Bunty and Bubbly too were amongst the first movies in Bollywood which were shot during the quarantine procedure. And how would you say things have changed in terms of shooting? Like, especially when we're still in a pandemic, how it used to be and how it was now.
Well, I mean, Yash Raj was really, it's always been a very crowded experience shooting. And there's been hundreds of people jumping all over you and all this kind of stuff. And sound guys and wardrobe guys and even like Adipurush. There's about 10 people like touching me and touching my face because I'm wearing a dadi.
Yeah.
Fingers in your mouth. So after every 2 minutes, I'm like, Dada, apne hand sanitize kiya? And he's like, of course sanitize kiya. And I'm like, sorry, I'm just asking because, geez.
Yeah.
You feel a little worried because it's not the kind of profession where you can't come into contact and actors can't wear masks. But
you can't wear a mask.
Right, and put everybody in a bubble and, tests and blah, blah. I mean, must have been a big pain, but he did it. And we managed so far. I've shot 2-3 films. Every day you're worried, but when the camera's on, you're never worried. But, and you try and be careful. People were chartering planes and, trying to make a bubble in Dharamsala. And we kind of managed, but it's not as much fun as when there's no pandemic.
In a talk show, you had joked about how you don't want to, the reason why you don't want to be on quarantine is because you might have more babies. But what I wanted to ask you is, how was that quarantine period of spending so much time with your family? Because as actors, I think the problem is that you don't get to spend as much time with family as you'd love to. And here you had baby Jay as well. So how is that?
I mean, silver lining, no? I mean, it was great. It was the best thing about, God's gift to us during the pandemic really was young Taimur in the first one, because he was happy to have us and we would be playing with him all the time and he was so positive and easy. So it's a blessing having the children and having the family together, because we had a really intimate and lovely time. And it was a tough time, but we managed because of the positive energy of the kids, honestly. It was great.
Anyways, thank you so much, Saif. It was so much fun talking to you. Best of luck for Bunty or Bubbly and all the other projects.
Does pink fella always have a pink background?
That's actually red. I think it looks pink from behind.
Your lipstick looks red, but the
lipstick is pink. So my lipstick is pink,
here.
and and the background is red.
Amazing.